What's up? It's your girl, Leslie from the B, and you are watching another episode of the Let's Be Real podcast. And today I have the legendary, the filmmaker, the one and only Manny Jimenez. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming, man. Like, I just want to give you your flowers. First of all, you've opened a lot of doors for Chicano men, women, that have just all the odds against them, right? And they've made it so far, and like it's great to see the growth, your growth. Like you've done so much in this film industry, TV industry. So I just want to say thank you. Giving you your flowers first and foremost before we get into anything right now.
Thank you for saying that. It means a lot. And I always have to say that if I feel honored and blessed and it's been so long, like, oh, but like a lot of people helped me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people helped my son. A lot of people helped my wife. So it's like, I don't know. It's like I have to do this. I have to keep
Yeah.
reaching out and being available and being accessible and approachable.
Of course,
That's
of
a
course.
big deal.
Especially like in this industry, in TV and film specifically. Like we mentioned off air, like we had a conversation and I was telling you like I've done internships in TV and film and it's just so competitive. It's just a whole nother world. I worked at talent agencies, I worked at streaming services, I've worked just different areas and facets of TV and film, and I was like, this is a whole nother world. I'm gonna stick to music because I love music. Like that I understand. And TV and film is just a whole nother beast. You have pilots, you have this, you have that. So what was your first experience in the entertainment industry?
My first experience was doing background, but I want to add something that you said. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
do this.
Go
but
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, it is competitive, and it's what's crazy. There's enough for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
There's like that's the
It's
thing.
a
Like
billion
TV,
dollar industry.
you can get money just to hold a mic. You can get money just to be a director, producer, assistant, like so many things.
Yeah.
A caterer, a makeup artist, like, and people don't understand that. Or like even finance. Who's gonna pay this person, that person, the budget. So it's just like a whole nother world.
Yeah. So I wanted to just make sure I just add that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the first job I did was I was background in this movie called Deep Impact.
Okay.
It took me a mission to break in on set and leave the neighborhood stuff. But when I got on set, I remember like it was yesterday. It was like 1999, 90,
Okay.
late 98. And I get a set, it was Universal Studios. And it was a trip because my mom, they used to take us there when we were young.
Oh, nice. Like to
Right.
city walk and stuff, or
No, to the Universal Studios.
oh,
like going
okay,
to
okay.
tour and
Oh,
all that.
yeah,
All
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the old days. And
Yeah.
this is way back when the ET ride and all that was there.
Yes, I remember that.
So yeah,
It's not there anymore.
so then we were so when I went back there
Mhm.
and I said, oh, okay, cool. Like I want to do this the rest of my life. And I seen all the free food, and then
Yeah.
like they don't ask if you have been convicted of a felony. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was the extra in a big crowd, and yeah, it was just. I remember my allergies were really bad that day. 'Cause we're
Oh,
on
no
grass. I
way.
was physically kind of miserable, but I was just so excited. But it was like really like I'm gonna do this the rest of my life, and I started already thinking, even on the first day of set, like, well,
Yeah.
how do they make movies? What is it?
What does it take?
What does it take? And then
Yeah.
the script. Okay, so one day I'm gonna write a script. That's on the very first day on set.
You're
I'm
already taking
I'm-
mental notes.
yeah,
That's crazy.
even though I didn't do it for a long time, but
Yeah,
the seed was planted, and I'm like,
planted.
yeah. So
For sure. That's awesome. And before we get into like anything like deeper into like the industry, the work you've done and things like that, let's take it back a little bit. Where from Los Angeles are you from? Where did you grow up and stuff like that?
as a very youngster, skater days, breakdancing days.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember I always used to listen to the old school K Day. When it was on
No
AM. All the
way.
old jumps and Uncle Jam's Army and all that. So
That's dope.
we were doing the cassette recording from radio to radio. Like, it was
Yes.
way back. So Huntington Park days.
Okay.
As a youngster. Then as I got into the teen years, it was Montebello, Pico Rivera, Whittier.
Okay.
That area. And then got caught up with the whole gang thing for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And seen a lot of that, seen a lot of the betrayal, seen a lot of friends die. I got shot, stabbed,
Wow.
bats, hit
The
in
whole
the
9
face.
yards.
Like,
Yeah.
and then thank God I had some miracles and mentors in my life that helped me along the way. And then I cherry picked the good qualities as I transitioned. I transitioned, and I didn't know how to do it, but I do teach it now. Like there's a way to transition from the hood life to a professional life, whatever
Yeah.
that is. there's a way to do it like the military. There's honorable and dishonorable, right? So I learned
Mm,
how to do it honorably in good standing, and that's what I teach with a lot of guys. And the
that's
whole
dope.
thing is this: is like don't half step. If you're gonna
If
go
you're gonna
off
be
and
about it, be about it.
yeah,
The
if
same way
like
you do it in the
the
streets.
same
Hmm.
exactly. So I didn't know about that. So when I'm going through it, I'm still worried about what are they thinking and what are they, But I'm like, oh, I don't care. I didn't rat. I'm not a child molester. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they gonna
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
And then what I learned in that is like my friends, my true friends, like, heck man, go do that. Go do
Yeah, they're
Hollywood or
gonna
whatever.
support you. Your
And then
real
there was
homies are gonna
yeah,
support you.
and then I had a couple little guys that weren't. I found they weren't my real friends.
Yeah.
They were just talk whatever. But then years later, like, hey, fool, hook me up.
Right. When it's convenient.
Yeah.
When it's
So on
convenient.
time, but again, I didn't have to. I stayed dedicated to what I was doing. I wasn't going back to the hood, partying. Like my wife and I, if we had a problem. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sleep on the couch and work it
Yeah.
out. I wasn't going to the hood anymore. That was like,
Mm,
I just that door closed,
yeah.
and because it's like if I'm there, I'm not a guy that's just gonna be there and something cracks. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm a family guy. Like it's like I'm there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get with it. That was what I was. So
Exactly.
why not put myself in that position,
Yeah.
right? So then let me put everything that energy into this, into being a dad. To
Yeah.
being a better,
Pursuing my career.
pursue my career, and
Yeah.
and so once I found Hollywood, I was like, I'm gonna do this forever. And then I realized the adrenaline of again, and I'm not proud of it, but there was an adrenaline rush in gangbanging.
Of course.
I didn't used to get high and drink wasn't my thing, but I loved like I used to do the G right thing and
Yeah, yeah.
gangbanging. There was an adrenaline rush to that, but at the end of the day, you know, there's jail
There's
and people were dying
consequences.
and
Yeah.
consequences. It's like, and it ain't fun. So now I found
Yeah.
a replacement where I could have that same adrenaline,
Hmm.
and then we all get to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure. And
yeah,
and I love that answer because it's real. It's real,
yeah.
like you had to put yourself first, in order to pursue what you wanted to do and stuff. And you mentioned a very important person, your wife. Like your wife, like I watched the Suspect the series. We'll
Yeah,
get into that a little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
later. But I watched it and I was like, damn, like she really held you down. And I feel like
yeah.
I've been with fools that gangbang and stuff, and like women are really like important in these fools' lives. So what role, like how did she like impact you or just like support you like through the good and the bad when you weren't maybe getting booked and you finally started getting booked and stuff like that.
Oh, even I mean, we're still holding it. She's still holding it down with me.
Period.
But I mean, back then, it's interesting. Like I'm directing the actors, right? And I'm
Right.
bringing up a lot of old feelings because that part of the pilot of the Connie and Manny, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like true. I made everybody else fictional,
Okay, okay, okay.
but them that part was all like that all really went
Yeah.
down, and that was a part with me. I didn't really know about it what I was going through, but when I look back, was I was very in a very lonely place in my life at that moment.
Yeah.
Remember, I
Cause you
walked
were
away.
fresh out.
Well, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fresh out of jail, but I left the hood,
Yeah.
and I'm going into this new territory. So I had no friends.
Mm-hmm.
All I had was my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm very vulnerable, very lonely, and I'm going to Hollywood, and there's a lot of belittling, there's a lot of disrespect, like the stuff
A
I was
lot.
telling, So I'm like still raw,
Racial profiling,
yeah,
all
and I'm
that.
still
Yeah.
like talking crazy to people on set, like, what'd you say, fool? You know what? And but my wife, she just was like really, really, really. I mean, I think everybody at first is like, you're going to Hollywood because my family like,
It's not typical in our
yeah,
family, in
you're
our
a skater, you're a
culture.
gangbanger,
Yeah.
you're a break dancer. Like, oh, now you're going to
Yeah.
Hollywood. But the more I stuck with it, the more they like, oh shoot, like he's really gonna do this thing.
Doing stuff.
But she's like I don't know, I would be I don't know where I would be without her. She
Oh,
really, really she don't put up with crap, and she checks me
yeah.
all the time, even to this day. We were both really raw in the beginning to each other. The way
Yeah.
we talked, the tone, and I started learning. We went to marriage counseling, family, like
I
every
believe it.
anger management, church. I'm in
Yeah.
therapy, like PTSD, like all so many
Everything.
things.
Yeah.
That she saw all these. Her and my son, most like they saw like they saw me kind of being tortured with like unforgiveness on
Mm.
myself and all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things. It was
Like
like
imposter syndrome or
yeah,
like
that
like guilt
too.
trip.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, survivors more.
There you
What is
go.
it? Yeah, survivors
Survivor's guilt. Survivor's
guilt
guilt.
and all
Uh-huh.
that, and so yeah, so a lot of things like
Yeah.
I don't. Again, when all that's happening, I don't even know what these are things are.
Yeah.
Right? You're just going
You're
through it, and
going
then you
through it.
start going to therapy. You're like, oh, that's what
That's what
that
it is.
is,
Yep.
and you're like, and so they put up with all that. My wife,
Yeah.
like,
She's taking it all in.
yeah. Then
Yeah.
she's like, you know, yeah. It's just it was a very dark time, and there's things still come up now, but I have the tools now how to handle it.
Yeah.
And one of the tools is, and I know we'll get more into it, but
Yeah.
one of the things that's been really cathartic is the writing. That is just like I could really say like the whole Hollywood thing saved my life,
Yeah.
but the writing like really,
It's a form of expression.
yeah, really saved my life
Yeah. What has
because
been? Oh no.
yeah.
Go
No,
ahead. Go
no, no,
ahead. Oh,
no,
I was
go
gonna
no,
ask you what
no.
has been your favorite piece that you've wrote.
I love them all because they were all or different wounds,
Mm.
right? That I had to open to dive into.
Right.
But I love writing. I'm writing something new now. So when I know when it's gonna be good, I'm not like this big Hollywood,
Director or
Aaron Sorkin like big writer where I'm like
right.
super like I'm not at that point yet. But I feel proud that I could really, because I would not, took me a while to even say I'm a writer. Like I could say I'm a
Mm.
writer now.
Good.
So that's where
Congratulations.
thanks, I feel like I'm a writer and I know. And it's cool because I never kind of left that hood lingo like we were talking about. I
Yeah.
know how to talk business, but I know. So when
Yeah.
I'm writing characters, like it just flows.
Yeah.
And so when people's like, oh man, I'm like, they're like, you're one of us, you know how to write. Like, because usually the actors want to change the script.
Yeah. A lot
And
of actors do that.
like
Yeah.
the script's not authentic and all that. I'm like, yeah, but you can't change the script. It's not your script. You could
Exactly.
ask nicely,
Mm-hmm.
can you change
Can I
some
say
word?
this or instead of
But
that?
if they
Yeah.
don't let you, so when I started writing and working with the guys,
Mm.
they're like, oh man, this is like they don't want
This
to
is
change.
relatable. It's
Yeah, they don't want to
perfect.
change it. So it's good. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, because I know I've been there.
Exactly.
But probably if I had to pick one, the suspect thing became more personal, because it was really going to be about Manny and the Hollywood, the homies.
Right.
But as I started writing and working on it, and then it was like, oh yeah, Connie's a big part of the story.
Yeah, she
And then
is.
it's like, okay, this was cool, but it did bring up a lot of old stuff because, like I said, I wasn't
Mm.
really the nicest guy back then,
Right.
and it brought up stuff for me, brought up stuff for her, and then I'm just like, hey, if it's bringing things up, then I did my job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And like you're healing in that process as
I'm
well.
healing in that process, and some other young couple that's going through it, and when they watch it, it's going to spark something in
Yeah.
them. So that's the
I
whole
love
thing.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I really, I guess it just like kind of bothers me how like, in Hollywood, there's just not enough representation. Like,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts about that? Latino representation in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Well, I have like a love hate relationship with Hollywood.
Yeah, I think
you
we all
know,
do.
because I love it. I love cinema and all that.
Right.
And then I feel like, I mean, again, this is just me. Some people are not gonna like this answer, but it's like, what are we gonna do about it? We could sit there and talk about it all day, but there's people like Robert Rodriguez, like he ain't complaining
Mm-hmm.
because he went and made his mark and did his thing.
That's true.
So then I'm like, well, okay, am I gonna look at the person that's complaining that's not doing that thing, or am I gonna follow the guy that's, he saw that there's a need and he just did something
Yeah,
about it. So
about
I'm
it.
like, okay, I think I'm gonna do that guy. So the people that are, I mean, we could sit here and write articles and do that. But I was like, okay, that energy could go into a script. We need that. We need
Yeah.
the people voicing it.
Yeah.
We do need that. But I'm all like, solution, solution, solution. What's the solution? So
Yeah.
to me, the solution is like, we don't really have a lot of Chicano writers,
We don't.
and directors and all that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
we have actors and all that, but at the end of the day, it's still, um, you know, they're non-Chicanos that are in power,
Yes.
and then you have to wait for
Yes.
them and get. So that's why, like for us, like we're just gonna fund this ourselves, do it our way, and I'm like super happy that we did
Yeah.
that, and I pivoted at a time when the strike happened. So I'm like, if I would have been with the
Ooh.
network, I would have been stuck.
You would have been stuck.
So
Exactly.
like,
Did that affect you guys in any way, the strike?
well, I'm
With
not
the
in. I'm
with the actors maybe or
no, because we shot it before the strike.
Oh, okay. I
But
see.
I'm saying as far as like the strike was already in talks, it was coming up,
Mhm.
but we just like you know we just shot. I'm like, I just shot it.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not gonna wait for network. But then we were like pitching it to networks, and I'm like, if they would have said, yeah, we want it, and then it went on strike, I would have been in what's called development hell,
Yeah.
just kind of stuck right
Stuck
there.
right there.
So I'm
Yep.
like, I'm glad we did it our way. I'm glad we get to do the screenings and all that. So I'm not in the Writers Guild, so I don't have to really.
Okay.
But I do honor everything with their, because it's future. I'm gonna be in the Writers
Yeah,
Guild,
yeah.
so I honor everything what they're doing, and but I will like, but I'm like right now I got to do what I got to do.
And
You
what
know
is
what I'm
that?
saying? Like make it our own.
Yeah.
Just make it on our own
I
dime,
like that
film it,
answer.
and just do it, and then put it out there. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's
Because we
not.
can't wait. Like, how
That's
long
a
are we gonna wait? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, it's overdue. But I just love how everyone's just doing their own thing. Like all these Chicano influencers and this and that, and like we're just on our come up right now. So it's dope.
But I think yeah, but really the answer to me, the solution is script, 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 script.
Scripts, writers.
Like we gotta
Yep.
have script. Like without the
100%.
script, because everybody, I talk to a lot of DPs and guys that shoot, and they're shooters and they edit, but like,
Yeah.
but you still need a script.
A script.
And if this, and it's can visually it can look great, but you gotta have a story.
Yeah.
You gotta have character arcs and all that. So and then, like you already know you're an actor. You like the acting's got to be there. So you mix
Yeah.
the script with the writing, and 90% Martin Scorsese. A lot of people say like
Martin Scorsese.
the 90% of making the project right is
Mm-hmm.
in casting. So if you put the right cast, and
Yeah.
because it was a different girl that was gonna play Connie, and then this didn't work out.
Oh,
So
no
then,
way.
so I had Carla. She was a makeup artist on the Sticky
Okay.
shoot that Esteban Oriol
I seen
directed, and I
Oh
produced it.
shit.
So she was assistant to the wardrobe. This girl
Mm.
Carla, and she a model flaked on us that day, and I told
No
Esteban, I go,
way.
hey, give it to that girl because she's cute and she's
Yeah, she's beautiful.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
and so the close because everybody was pretty fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the clothes fit her, and then I just saw how humble she was. Usually, like you
Yeah.
get some girls that start
Super
walking, right?
cocky, super like
Yeah.
creídas and stuff. But no, I love how she acted in the film.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in the
And we
short
only had her
film.
for 3 weeks of rehersal. Like imagine, like
What?
yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
I just had a feeling about her. I just said, hey, do you want to do a self tape for me? She's never acted before. I said,
Wow.
just I don't know. I have a feeling.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I just have a
Like,
feeling.
damn.
And she did it, and then I was like, "Oh man, you did good." And I
No,
was
she
like,
did really good.
And then she goes, "I got this is the only weekend I'm available." So I go, "Okay."
To film?
Yeah,
Oh my
because
god.
she works a lot, and I said,
Yeah.
"Okay," and she like, "We have to," and I go, she goes, "I'm actually off the next 3 weeks." And I'm like, "All right, let's
Oh,
get to work."
perfect.
So
Oh,
it
that's
was really
awesome.
just worked out, and with more time and coaching and
Coaching.
rehearsal, they'll
Yeah.
get even better. But the main thing, there was something about them. There was a chemistry that
With Frankie,
Frankie and
who
Carla,
plays you.
yeah, Frankie Hernandez
Okay.
and Carla Bonilla, there was just a chemistry that
Mhm.
you can't,
You can't
it's
deny.
either
You
there
can't.
or it's
Yeah, yeah.
not, and that's also part of casting, and then also how they are as a people. Like they're professional, they're about their business, and they're not like I said, posting, doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That's
No, they're about their business. I've
inappropriate,
looked at their pages. Frankie follows me, and I'm like, damn, like It's dope to see the growth. It's
Yeah,
cool to
yeah.
see the growth, and like they're both gonna make it so far. So congratulations
Oh,
on
thanks.
Suspect the series,
Thanks.
on everything, and kind of back on the casting topic. You started Suspect Entertainment, right? When did
Yes.
you start it? How did you get all the homies? Like, how did that come about?
That came about like I was always the guy in the hood. Like I was always for the youngsters.
Mm.
So there would be like we'll just call our Suge Knights, right? Like there was
Yeah.
always bullies. There's bullies in Hollywood. There's bullies in the hood, but
Yeah.
there was I was the guy like I would like I would stand up to these dudes and they would try to punk little youngsters, some little
Yeah.
scrawny guy. Like, oh, you better get a tattoo. You better.
Yeah. Do this, do
And
that
I'm
for
like,
the
man, you
hood.
ain't gotta, man, you ain't gotta do nothing. So I was always just like,
Okay,
so a lot of
Manny.
guys didn't like me, and plus I'm short and all that. And I was like, I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, don't, so I was just that guy. It's like, and a part of it, I think too, because I felt bullied with my stepdad as a young. So I was always like, I stood up
Okay.
to my
To defend
stepdad.
yourself.
Yeah, I was stood up to bullies in middle school. I stood up to bullies in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
and I stood up to bullies in Hollywood. And I'm gonna continue that. But I was always for the people, right? I was always for the youngsters. Like, come on, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna take care of you. And like even simple things like we're on Whittier Boulevard, and some youngsters, I know their home situation ain't that cool, and
Right.
they would be hungry, and I would have like we had with one homeboy. He was always buying Taco Bell and eating in front of everybody. I go, hey, fool, you gonna buy? You better buy a 12 pack or whatever those
Yeah.
that
Sharing is caring,
sharing,
homie.
and if you do it again, and you did it again, and he didn't do it after that. I'll just say that.
Okay.
But like you like, I was always about sharing and giving, and then I got that from my mom.
Yeah.
My mom, there was some things I didn't like about my mom growing up, but my mom was all about giving back. She let people crash at the house. She was,
No way.
lending money, giving rides, and then she introduced me to Hollywood and TV at a very young age. She just
Hmm.
loved all that stuff, Jack Nicholson, Lucille Ball, and all that. And
Oh
then
wow.
and then she taught me about instincts. She's been imparting that in me
Mm.
since I was a little kid, and I really never really tapped into it till. And I was like, oh, that all
Like
my
energies and
the
stuff like
energy of,
that.
of a little voice or something. Don't do this. And every time I went against it, I either got busted or something bad happened.
Yeah.
But so I started. So those three things have served me well. So when
Mm.
I'm in Hollywood now and I see like, hey, like you guys said, Resurrection Boulevard, I'm doing that. And
Oh
I
yeah,
heard
my
them
homie's
say,
Dodger. Yeah.
yeah, Dodgers, like, if I worked Resurrection Boulevard, they go, yeah. They're like, I heard them saying, oh, we need some lowrider cars.
Yeah.
Oh, I know some guys. Oh, you need a lowrider bike. Saying, oh, you need a house. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I'm like, oh.
Mm.
So early on, the light bulb was, oh, this is just like the hood. You
Yeah.
put in work, you make a name for yourself, and you get a reputation and keep it.
That's true.
And you have to keep it though.
Because that's the thing. This industry, people think it's big, but it's small.
Very small.
Word gets around quick. The same way in the hood.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it started. So I'm like, I know this guy, I know. And then there was other homies already in the business too, didn't
Yeah.
know their way. But I just, I was like a natural leader, and I was like, come here, come here, come here. And we're like, dude, I don't care who's like, I don't care where anybody's from.
Yeah.
Are you gonna come and be professional?
Do you want to make this money or not?
Yeah, you know what I
Like.
mean? That's just so everybody was like down with it. And then, like I said, some of my homeboys were like, hey, hook it up, you got to connect. I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's go. But then all this craziness happened, stealing clothes, stealing craft
No.
service. I'm guilty.
Hey,
I still,
I'll take
I,
those snacks for sure.
I got excited when I seen you guys craft service when I walked in. I was like, yeah, all the snacks. Like, damn.
Yep.
But all the just hooking. It was just all about helping everybody. Let's go, let's
That's
go.
dope.
And then it was like, hey, we need a specific canary yellow lowrider car on this big giant Universal movie called
Okay.
Ollie G in the house. We need us homeboys, and so casting directors were always calling me, and then we would get the guys. Me and my team. I had my team: Jesse Acosta and
Okay.
Stella and Frank Alvarez and Cesar Garcia. We were all like the early. And Noel was a big part of it, and
Yeah.
like I met Noel on set, and when he was just starting out, and we
Oh,
became
really?
friends, and we were always like, what are we gonna call this thing and all that.
Yeah.
But the thing was all about helping people, right?
Yeah.
And then Noel started booking jobs, and then he would book a job, and then he would open up a door, and then we would bring all these homies in,
That's
right?
dope.
Homeboys and homegirls.
Yeah.
But again, we were all of us were still raw,
Yeah.
and you putting everybody together, all this energy, like at some
It's
point
just
it's gonna,
intense,
it's
yeah.
some point it's gonna blow
gonna-
up.
yeah.
And
Pressure
then
bust pipes.
There
Yeah.
you go. Pressure, yeah. And so then, but it was always about helping people. But then the Ollie G movie was like, we need this car and this guy, and they're like, all right, cool. We went and did it, and then it was like, oh man, this is. And then people started telling me like, oh, you need to start a business, and you need to
Yeah,
start
yeah.
a LLC, and what the heck is all that?
What
stuff?
is all that? Yeah.
I started learning. I did that. Then I became a real manager where I would get the breakdowns and submit people, and then learn about acting classes and acting, and doing closing deals
Nice.
and all that. So
Damn.
it was.
And what years was this
Oh, this
going
was
on?
all in the early 2000s.
Early
Yeah.
2000s.
So like the
Okay.
first one we really got it cracking was the OG Fast and the Furious. So Noel
Yeah,
got on there as the
classic.
actor, and then like I'm in the in the scenes where they're racing and the cops come and everybody takes off.
Oh yeah.
I'm in those scenes.
Oh,
Where I'm in the
shit.
car with them, and
That's
we had all
what's
kinds of
up.
homeboys on there. So we had so much fun, and we would one time me and Noel we pretend we got in a fight because we all took stunt training.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
we know how to
okay.
do it really good. So
Yeah.
we did a but the director got mad though.
Why?
Because everybody was there and we acted like we were fighting, and the director, the producer, everybody
Cut.
came and just like, what the hell are you guys doing? And we're like, I got you.
Got you. Shit.
It was pretty
Trying to give
funny.
my big break.
Yeah, so it was just having fun on set.
That's
and
dope. With your homies. That's
yeah,
cool.
and then got to hang out with Paul Walker was the nicest guy, and then they put us up in hotels for like a few months in San Bernardino, and then
Oh,
we would go,
nice.
go bowling and do all these things and just
That's
hang out. And I
cool.
was like, man, that was a cool experience, And
Yeah.
then after that, this show called and this show called, and then now we're the go-to,
To for homies,
for homies,
anything.
locations, cars,
That's
and
cool.
really I was producing, but
Hmm.
I didn't know the title yet, but they were calling it consulting, but it was my training. All of that was my training. Then we worked on training day.
I love that movie.
Yeah, and then I
I
was
love
like,
that movie. Training
that was
Day.
so cool too.
Yeah, like who was it? Veneno. Veneno was in there too. I think
I don't know.
Conejo, yeah, Conejo, the rapper.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
got him
so
on there.
Conejo, yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
on there too,
yeah,
right? I'm like, I
yeah.
don't know if it was Conejo or Veneno, like one of them, but they're
No,
both
that's
rappers.
Canelo.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I never wasn't really too hip with the. I'm not no disrespect to the homies. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know a lot
yeah,
of the Chicano rapper. Like
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even know Little Rob back then.
Oh,
Like
really?
Mr. Cartoon tells me, yeah, you gotta meet Little Rob. You guys will get along.
Hmm.
So I meet Little Rob. Side note, and he goes,
Okay.
I say, homie, no disrespect. I never heard of your thing. The only thing I knew is rappers back then was Cypress Hill, Kid Frost, and
Kid
Lighter Shade of
Frost.
Brown. That, but else Cypress
Yeah,
Hill was
yeah.
like.
The
That's why I used
shit.
to gangbang too.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like-
period.
well, I'm a big Cypress Hill fan. So when I came,
Okay.
I was like, oh, I just want to meet Cypress Hill and Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's
who. Yeah, I was like,
it.
I wasn't even thinking about nobody else like them, and I got to work with both of them, so that was
That's
pretty
cool.
cool. But so Conejo came, and
Hmm.
someone introduced me, and I didn't know who. I was like, yeah, I was just putting anybody in. So I
Yeah.
got him in, and then we're still cool to this day.
That's
And
dope.
then I found out all that stuff after he
Yeah.
was on there. I'm like,
Yeah, he was.
oh man, I
Yeah.
didn't even know about all that. This dude, like,
Yeah.
and so it was cool to see him come back and see Tax Collector. I was like, bro,
I
yeah, I go, you
know.
got down, dude. And
Yeah,
he
he's
said, I
an
trained.
actor
He
now, and
trained.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, training. We got a gang of homies on there. We did consulting with Cliff Curtis,
Okay.
the guy that plays the OG,
Hmm.
and as I transitioned from manager and doing a lot of consulting on these movies,
Okay.
is when I was like, yeah, it's like the scripting was still like, I need to write my own script,
Hmm.
because the Training Day wasn't one of them, but there were some other movies that I don't want to name them,
Right.
but I worked on them. We all worked on them.
Just didn't feel.
And then when it came out, I was like, I don't even want to tell people I worked on this thing. It was all right,
Yeah.
but I'm like, if you really want to get it done, I really just got to write and direct it because I have a I developed and have an eye and gone back to gut instincts
Yeah.
for authenticity,
Hmm.
and I could tell like you're authentic.
Thank you.
Like I could tell I really know that I'm going to be able to direct you
Thank you.
really easy. And even the word acting and directing, because good acting is not acting, right?
I've never
And
heard that.
yeah, and it is really being like everybody says, Frankie's a natural. I'm like, no, he's not. he
Frankie's
know,
just Frankie.
no, he's. What I'm saying is, because when the first tapes he did was very stiff, and all
Yeah.
if you do your craft and you do your work, it's supposed to make it look like it's so real that it
Right.
comes off as
Uh-huh.
natural, right?
That is true.
And so the same thing with what I learned with directing
I
is
see.
we talk if you're know your craft, all we talk about is character.
Hmm.
Character. Who's this character? Who's this character?
Yeah.
Who's this character? And knowing your lines and all that, like
Knowing your
that's your
lines. That's the
is
hardest part, I think, for me
yeah.
as an actor.
But starting tapping into who's the character more.
Character. Right.
And if you know this character and you create a backstory, and then I share my thing, and then by the time we get to set, I just get out of everybody's way. Like I've told Frankie probably like 2 or 3 things through the whole set once we're shooting.
Really?
Yeah, and same with Carla. But rehearsal,
Oh, yeah, because rehearsal, of course.
rehearsal. Okay, try this. We're trying all kinds of things, and I told him, look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk a lot. I'm gonna be all up in you. When we get to set, and plus we're shooting gorilla,
Yeah.
some of that stuff like the sunset scene, that's like one take.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
boom, boom, boom. We're shooting fast. So that's what you learn with directing actors. Like just like it has to be so real. And so by the time I get to set with everybody, I'm like, to me, we're filming a documentary
At that
because
point,
you are the
yeah.
character.
Hmm.
And let's rock and roll.
Yeah, and you're portraying this person
Yeah,
and
and the
like,
world's real. We created this
yeah.
environment, and so that's kind of what I learned along the way. But before I didn't know all that. It took time. and all these books and YouTube things. Sometimes, yeah, my biggest influence are Tarantino and Martin Scorsese. I love how they use music. You've seen all
Did
the
you ever get
music.
to meet them?
I got to meet Tarantino. Yeah, I'll tell you the
Okay.
story. So that was a really cool story. Not Marty yet, and I learned to, like, if I meet these guys, when I meet, I just keep it real brief and thank them, because but they're a big, huge influence.
Huge,
Like
yes. In your
Tarantino,
life as a director and
as
like,
a yeah, everything. Tarantino's a bigger influence in me as far as his journey,
hmm
like this complete outsider. I don't know, his interviews and all the way he did, his perseverance. It's just such a, my favorite movies are Jackie Brown and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I
hmm
love all his movies, but it's his journey that really inspired me, and the advice that he gives when he's speaking in
yeah.
interviews. But yeah, he was the first one where I was watching. I'm kind of jumping around now,
No, no, go
but
ahead. I
like in
love it. I love it.
'98, when I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, can't gang bang and rob
Yeah.
people no more. Like,
hmm
what? Not that I robbed anybody,
Let me
but
find out, Manny. Jay
but like, we're watching Jay Leno. I would watch Jay Leno working
Leno,
at Toys
yeah.
R Us, and he's on there saying
Oh
like, "Yeah,
shit.
anybody could anybody could come to Hollywood. Da, da, da. Doesn't matter where you came from." And I'm like, "Oh man, maybe I could go," because I kind of wanted to do it already, but I thought
Yeah.
like they're gonna ask for a background
Background
check and
check.
all that whole thing, the
Yep.
song and dance, and I'm like, but then I'm like, oh, maybe we should do it. And that's when my OG Connie took me pregnant to the
Oh
sets like that,
yeah,
like in
I
the
know.
pilot.
Like she's literally just driving around the lot, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
just said going. That was the lit. I go around in circles until I come
yeah.
back out, and that's what she did. We did it like a lot of, and
Oh,
I was a lot of rejection,
I
and
bet.
yeah. So that's when, and Tarantino, when he was out there promoting, he was promoting Jackie Brown that year.
Mm.
So then when Jackie Brown comes out that Christmas, we go see Jackie Brown. I love it. I loved all the music. I loved the acting, and it was just like that one's real special to me. And then 20 years later, there was times where I could have met him, where me being stupid, I didn't
Yeah.
for some reason or another. But we go to the Baby Driver screening not too long ago,
hmm
and they're like the reserved seating, and my
hmm
wife and Connie's like, "Oh, let's go sit right there. Maybe we don't ever know
Oh,
what celebrity's gonna be there."
yeah.
We're like, "Nah, I want to sit in the middle because I want to see the movie."
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm sitting there, the movie's about to start, and who walks in? Their seats, Tarantino and his fiance,
No
right?
way.
And I'm like, oh,
On the same table or
no, the
the
seat
table
that
that Connie wanted you to
where
sit at?
Connie wanted me to
Oh
sit, the
my
reserved seats.
goodness.
And she's like, "I told
I
you," and I was
told
like,
you.
"Man, what a dum dum."
I'm dead.
So then I had already had tickets to it was a 20-year anniversary of Jackie Brown. There was going to be a screening,
Mm.
so I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you already knew he was gonna be
well,
there.
it said he's not on the thing, but I go, I don't care. I'm still want to go. It's
Go.
Jackie Brown. It's 20 years. It's the
Yeah.
movie and interview that year that he got me fired up, and I
Yeah.
pushed me to
To
take a
do it.
chance.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we go in there, and Connie's with me, and this was after the baby driver screening. Like I want to
Okay.
say like 2 weeks after, and we're in line, and the guy comes on. Guess what, everybody? QT's gonna be here. I'm like, oh
No
shit, that's dope. All
way.
right, cool. So then we go in the theater, and there's two reserved seats, right?
Again.
I'm like, we looked at each other, we know what to do.
Yep.
And she's like, yeah, let's sit right behind him. I go, better yet, let's sit in the front so I could turn and say hi,
Say
right?
hi.
And we go sit in the front of the seats, and here comes Tarantino, and it's his wife, the one that has a baby,
Okay,
but he
okay.
had this fiance at the time. He walks in like a rock star, everybody's screaming. He sits
That's
right behind
amazing.
us.
Oh,
I
that's so
just turned
lit.
around, shook his hands, like, bro, you don't know this movie changed my life.
Oh,
And
that's
that's all I
awesome.
said.
No
I
picture?
didn't take a picture, nothing. And
Yeah.
the outside, we seen him, and I seen him telling people like, "Oh, I'm not signing anything." So I was like, you know what? I have a cool moment.
Yeah,
That was a
that's
cool
a
moment.
special
It's a
moment.
20-year anniversary of the movie that inspired me. It was very special, and to have my wife there and that whole thing, like, so I always tell people, it's like the whole moral of the story: listen to your wife.
Listen to I'm telling you, women are the backbone, okay? Women are the backbone of relationships, of these fools, with everything.
Hey, when we're going, she don't really go to a lot of events. She's not really her thing, but
Okay.
when she does, like, she's the one that, like, she'll give me the thumbs up or thumbs down about certain people I'm gonna do business with. Like,
Mm,
and I know that's how it is.
yeah.
Like, me and Cartoon's wife, we're like super cool. I put her in some movies. So, hey, can you put her? Like, yeah, we're cool. Like,
Oh,
I
no way. How
like
did you meet Cartoon?
through Esteban. I
Esteban.
met throughout being in the industry.
Yeah.
So I met. Well, I knew all of them, but I never got tattoos of my thing. We would
Okay.
do photos with Esteban, so I got closer with him. But Cartoon, he was always putting me up on game in the early days, and then I put his wife in some stuff, and
Oh,
And
that's
to this day,
cool.
like her and I got a cool friendship, and like who has cartoons here better than his wife? You know what I'm saying?
True.
And I'm cool with like little Rob and his wife. Like I already know, like the people here. Like, you go to meet people and they just ignore everybody except the person, the celebrity. You
Yes.
gotta be cool with
You
everybody.
have
Like one, like
to.
because they're people,
Yeah.
right?
At the end of the day.
And I've had it done. There's been times where I was with Lil Rob somewhere, man. I would just it completely like not even look at me, ignored me. Just Lil Rob, hey Lil Rob.
Yeah, yeah.
From other like I don't want to say who they are, but people in the industry.
Yeah.
As soon as they found out I was like Manny from Suspect, they were on me. I'm like, bro,
All of a
you
sudden.
just ignored me,
Yeah.
completely ignored me,
No, it
you know.
happens.
And I'm sure I didn't have every moment wasn't the best with my interaction with everybody, but I
Mm-hmm.
learned like, hey, just be good with. If you imagine this, like treat every single human being you ever encounter like they're your favorite celebrity,
Mm.
right? If you practice doing that, and it practices one treating yourself good in the mirror in your home,
Facts.
right? And then my wife, my family, right? Everything at home, and then
Yeah.
traffic, the supermarket. So it can't be like I'm gonna treat um, everybody, the director of this project, and then be mean to everybody else in my life. No,
No.
like I practice
Mm-mm.
treating everybody
You can't do
right,
that.
and and it takes
It
practice,
does.
because sometimes there's some people that are not nice, and when they're not nice, that could make you angry and bitter.
Yeah, I can
You
relate to
know.
that. I think that's one thing this industry has taught me: music, TV, film, everything. Like, because of where we come from, we're so used to sticking up for ourselves or standing up or
Hmm.
like, oh, what'd you say? Like, da da da. But
Yeah.
it's like, no, like, you need to, there's a time and place, especially in the industry, to do things like that. You know what I mean? But I love your story. Like,
Oh, thanks.
I love these stories. Like, I didn't know any of this. So this is super, super cool. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and you know what? And it took me a while to develop this skill, this conflict resolution. And one of it is like, well, I'll just take like this at home, right? It got to a point where like my son, like I used to yell and cuss at the house a long time
Yeah.
ago, and I was just like, I didn't want. I was parenting out of fear. I didn't want my son to go down the
Mm,
road that I did, and da da da.
mm-hmm.
And but I was like, what the hell, And then, but I started learning through counseling, and I'm like, how would I feel if another man spoke to my son that way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like dang, how would I
Crazy.
feel if someone else spoke to my wife that way? Even if it's a little, like just some little
Anything.
disrespectful
Any little
tone, a
thing.
little
Yeah.
tone, right? And then like and vice versa. So when I started really doing that at home and making, it's not about me barking orders. It's about a family, us doing things like, oh, what should we do? And getting life humbling me, right?
Right.
And then if you take that same energy into filmmaking now, humility,
Yeah.
right? Like, how do I nurture my actors, my team to be their best? It's
Right.
not sitting there barking orders. It's like love, respect,
Yeah.
trying to nurture and bring the best out of them, make them comfortable, so they could go shine, right? And then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And once I did all that work on
Yeah.
myself, and I'm still doing it,
Yeah.
then it's like boom, all these opportunities came. I was able to like the scripts are getting to the right people. People are like
Yeah.
coming, hey, what are you doing? I'm trying to get this thing up. How can I help? This person is, and there was all these people that were already been in my life. Sometimes you're looking for all this stuff and it's right in front
That's
of you.
true.
You know,
That is
it's like,
true.
oh man, I got the. I don't. I'm looking for this
Perfect thing
perfect thing or
certain
perfect budget.
person. Yeah.
Like I have everything I need in front of me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I know how to do this.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a long.
For so long.
So like now it's like now I'm writer, producer, director. Like okay, let's get it going. I collaborate. I'll hear everybody out, but I got to make the final call.
Yeah.
And but I truly will, and I will know. And like again, back to humility. Like if I'm wrong, I'm gonna like okay, I'm right. I made a wrong call.
Yeah.
Let's try it this way. But I have to try my way first, my instincts first.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't, then I try. I used to try. Other people like, oh, you should, and then I'll do it their way, and then it doesn't work. I'm like, man, I should have just did it my
Yeah.
way.
It's
So
that instinct. You gotta
so
follow
it's
it.
like, yeah, yeah. Again, and
Yeah.
even if it's wrong, because it'll lead to the right one,
Mm-hmm.
right? But humility, being humble, like that is to me one of the greatest life experiences that any human being can have, because when that happens, something magical happens. You are kind of like there's like a rebirth. You are like starting over. It's like
Mm-hmm.
when you reset your phone or computer, right?
Right.
You're just starting over. You're like, hey, all this stuff happened. Ego is dead. This that.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like how can I be of service? And now you're being
Right.
of service. And then for me, I tell you, I'm like doing youth counseling, gang intervention, like all these things. And then I'm doing filmmaking. I'm like,
Hmm.
I was like, well, maybe I gotta, my heart's want to help a lot of people. Well,
Right.
maybe I should just go right in the nonprofit world. And then one of my mentors is like, no, you could do well and you could do both,
Do
or
both. You do it
do
all.
well and do good. He
Yeah.
said, and I'm like, oh, all right. My friend Saul Eisler, I want to give him his props.
Yeah. Go
He
ahead.
told me that, and he said, wow. And I said, okay, cool. So then it became even more clear. I could create projects that can save lives and give people an experience while making the project that can transform their life in front of the
It's
camera,
true.
behind the camera. So we all go
Yeah.
through this thing. So, like with Frankie, we go through this process of making this project. His life changed, my life changed.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, this is about helping this young man. I told him, like, we have this joke where he's baby suspect.
Yeah.
He's on your baby
Low
sus, you take
key.
over. Like,
Like you look at your pictures, I'm like, damn near twins.
and the thing is, and I said, look, dude, my job is to give you everything, like you're my son, and so that's even when he messes up, I gotta give him grace and mercy,
Mhm.
and my son knows I give him the same thing. But my whole thing is that not just to be a great artist, right? That's part of it,
Yeah.
but to be a good human being.
At the end of
Because
the
what's
day.
the point of being this big celebrity and all that, and then you're an a-hole to people? Like
Yes.
that, when people are turn into these a-holes up there, that to me that diminishes their art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the art, like, and I've had people do things to me and still are, as much people as I help, I still have people doing some crappy stuff to me. But looking back, and you looking back last week, you know what I mean? Looking back throughout the years, I needed to go through that. I needed
Yeah.
to get those hits, because as crappy as it felt, I know I needed to. So when the people that came in that were good,
Yeah.
they were like glowing. They stood out because there were so many people that did this wrong
Hmm.
to me. So when this person did me right, they were just glowing,
Yeah.
right? And then not only that, it pushed me to like, I don't want to make people feel that way.
Hmm.
I know how ugly it felt. So when we do projects, like I don't care if the film suffers. I don't want anybody feeling belittled. I don't want anybody leaving set, you know, just you know, and I had a couple of moments on set where I was like frustrated
During for this
during the
project for
project,
husband.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and I felt super bad about it.
Mm.
I just used a tone that I shouldn't have used with the
Mm. Well, maybe
crew
it's because
crew
it's
member.
your story. You
Yeah,
want it
I
to
mean,
be.
there was things, mistakes made, and I used a tone that I shouldn't have used with someone, and I apologized to the person, and I felt bad about it, and they were cool about it, but it just was like, okay, yeah, I have work to do still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect, and it's not gonna ever be
We're
perfect.
human,
But
man.
but that's like I beat my, even at our first screening, I start freestyling, thanking people. I'm looking
Oh
through the
yeah.
crowd, and I forgot a bunch of people, right? And I
But
hold
it's gonna
on.
happen. You
I
can't
know it's
name
good,
everybody in like a minute. Let's
and
be real.
but I beat myself up the whole weekend over that. And then my sister's like, "You named your brother. You didn't point me."
Oh
So I'm
my
like, "Oh my god!"
god.
But
That's
yeah, I don't
funny.
know. I'm kind of going all over
No,
the
no, no,
place
you're
now.
good. But I love it though. I love it though because it's real, it's raw, and like it's what you went through. And I feel like a lot of people don't really know what comes with being a director. Like, oh, you just did it, like whatever. But it took time. It took weeks of rehearsal. It took weeks of writing the script. How long did it take you to write the
Oh,
script?
the writing. I mean, I had to live it. The
True.
suspect stuff. I wrote a few scripts. The first draft of the suspect thing, I did it like in 3 days. It was a half-hour
Oh
comedy.
wow.
But then the rewriting works.
Yeah.
But again, all of it goes hand in hand. Working on myself, working on my craft, working on myself.
Hmm.
Doing that simultaneously,
Right.
and blending the two, right? And
Hmm.
then when you're, like I said, when you're finally like, oh, like again, not you're not fully healed, but you have some healing, and you learn how to like you're an
Look
actor.
past. Yeah.
Well, you learn your craft, and then you feel like, oh, I know enough to now go do
Go
this,
do it. Yeah.
even though you're gonna keep working on your craft the rest of your
Of
life.
course.
So that's where I got to a point. I worked on myself enough. I worked on my craft enough where I know how to do this now. Like I said, I could say I'm a writer,
Yeah.
but then blend the two, or the healing and the writing came.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so then it took, but it took a lot. It's funny that I had a lot of offers when Suspect back then we went viral before social media. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, we like were in magazines, Entertainment Weekly, Premiere
Oh,
Magazine,
like
see it.
Suspect Entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Suspect
Yeah, yeah,
Entertainment
yeah.
in the early days.
Yes.
Like, we did my friend Sam Slavic did a article on us, and we were on the cover of LA Weekly.
Awesome.
And from that thing, freaking everybody's calling us. And
Calling you.
Esteban was doing the photos, and we were in all these magazines.
That's sick.
So I'm like getting recognized at the mall. I'd be at Denny's with my
No
wife. I have people
way.
coming up to me. And that was like very uncomfortable because of like I said, because the homies, I don't, because it's a gangbang,
Right. Uh-huh.
and I was still,
Like, who are you
still
trying
going,
to?
yeah, I was still going
Uh-huh.
through my thing back then. But so all these, we went viral. So I have studios calling me. So I'm going to HBO. I'm going to Sony.
ABC.
Yeah, all these things, and I'm like, and they want to do the life story of me, and Michael Pena is gonna play. My sister Michael Pena just popped, and
Wow.
I'm like, oh, this is cool, whatever. But at the end of the day, it was like they want to give me some money and bench me. And I talked to
See,
like my good friend
it
Antoine
happens
Fisher.
a lot though
Yeah,
in the
my friend
industry.
Antoine Fisher and different mentors were like, you know, you need to go, like, you're gonna be bitter if you take that deal. Like, they could change a lot of stuff. They
A
start
lot of stuff.
schooling me,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm just gonna go learn how to write. And that's
That's
when I went
true.
to UCLA Extensions and learn how to write.
Oh, nice.
And then and basically going to that, and I got my first A+, which was built my confidence. Because
Congrats.
I
It's
dropped out
not
of
easy.
no, I dropped out of school in ninth grade and went
Oh
to
shit.
continuation and went to
Yeah.
camp and all that. But basically what it did was paying the money and going, driving back and forth and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It was way before Zooms and all that. It built my discipline. So therefore, that's the hardest thing about writing is the writing. Not for me anymore, but when
Mm.
I teach it and all that.
Okay.
For me, I know how to write. I write it 7 days a week. The Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad, he told me that face to face. Write 7 days a week.
Wow.
He goes, and don't hold it all like this to you're young and have a show, and don't give it all away either. He goes, like that, fight for certain things. And I'm like, oh, I already know what that is, authenticity, right? And not only in the gang culture, but the cops have to be authentic, the medical department,
Mm.
the mom, the dad, like it has to be
It needs to
authentic.
make sense.
And it makes,
Yeah.
and people in that world, and then my mentor, who's Steve Nicolaitis, who produced Boys in the Hood and Nacho Libre,
Okay.
he told me, he mentored us early on, and he says, I said, look, to me, like, I want to make this for the Chicano culture. Like, I'm not tripping on anybody in the world,
Mm.
because other people are like, well, it's got to be for the world to people over
To
here.
see.
And I'm like, but my gut instinct is telling me, because what if everybody loves it and the Chicano people think it's whack?
Yeah.
You know? So he goes, no, John Singleton, this is what Steve Nicolaitis told me. He goes, John Singleton made Boys in the Hood for South Central. So your
That's
instincts
a
are right.
fact.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, that's all I needed
That's
to hear.
enough. Yep.
I'm having this
That's
OG,
my green light.
you know what I mean? I'm having this
Yeah.
OG tell me that it's on. So I'm like, I'm going authentic. Yeah, like I'll never have notes. Like I have a actor cop friend. He read the next project we're
Mm-hmm.
developing. I said, go through all the cop stuff. I go, if you see anything else, let me know. But go through all the cop
That's
stuff. Like I want to make
crazy.
sure. And he
Like
was
it's
like,
accurate.
he had
Yeah.
one thing. He goes, this is just an option you could say. There was no notes
Oh wow.
and the law enforcement stuff. He saw there's just this thing when the guy says freeze, you could say stop LAPD or free. You could
Mm.
change it. There's 3 ways to go here.
Okay. Okay.
So he just basically didn't have a
Just
note. He just gave
feedback.
me an option,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, okay. So I was like, cool, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have this cop guy telling me that it's authentic, and because I know the gang stuff's authentic.
Yeah.
But
You
then,
lived it.
yeah,
Seen it all.
but then learning how to structure it and all that. So,
Yeah.
so I'm excited. With
Yeah.
that, and people, some people, I still have some cool relationships. I have, mentors. I have a lot of good mentors.
Yeah. You keep saying like you have mentors. Mentors. Keep
Yeah,
mentioning that. Like
yeah,
who
Eddie
are? How did you get those mentors?
I had
How
my
have they
mentors.
impacted you in your career?
I had mentors that helped me transition in life,
Got it.
and that are outside of my life, and you know, and then outside of the Hollywood life, I'm saying,
Okay.
like so I had like someone to help me with my marriage, someone
Got
would
it.
help me in business, someone helped me with my being a father, and things
Nice.
like that. And then I had people in the industry. My first mentor was Tony Warren, and I want to say this is important. So when you get in the industry, like, and coming from the Chicano gang culture,
Mm-hmm.
like, we're always like our people, blah blah blah. But the first person to really help us was an African American gentleman,
That's
and
awesome.
he took, and I was like, oh, like, so you I had to reprogram my whole
Yeah.
mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like Tony Warren. He took me under the wing. He funded our office the first few years. I mean, this guy,
What?
like, we're still friends to this day. And the way you honor your mentors is by keep going
Yeah.
and pay it
Putting in the
forward,
work.
right?
Yeah. Pay it forward.
And then I'm like, remember we go to Silver Brand Jail and we're Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg, all these, and we would go to all these videos
Yeah.
and you see all these black homies. And then we're all a bunch of Chicano homies.
Chicanos.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
And it's
man.
different.
And
If you
like,
know,
is it,
you know.
I was like, man, it's about to go down. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking in the early days.
Right.
And because I've been in the county and all that when it was
Mm-hmm.
riots and all that. And then
Yeah.
um, we get there and they're like, the essays are here. What's up? And they were
Oh
like, I was like,
shit!
oh
Showing
shit. It
love.
was like straight up love. I'm like,
That's
cool.
what's up.
To work with 50 Cent, all these people, like it was straight up like never on my watch that I've seen. I've never heard of anybody anything. I
That's
heard of
awesome.
stories years later that a couple dudes did this.
Oh
I'm like, oh
man.
man, you guys hit that for me.
But Suspect Entertainment was able to make that happen.
Yeah,
Like bring the
suspect.
homies out. Oh
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
that's
It
dope.
was we were
But
getting.
thanks to your mentor.
Oh yeah, thanks to my
Yeah.
mentor. I mean, while he helped me develop and said he told me early on, he goes, "You're a producer, you're a director, and you need to write." And he's seen something in me that I was just wasn't seeing. He started planting the seed, and then I got another throughout the years. I have another mentor, Baker Smith. He's a big commercial director. I met
Okay.
him. He did a commercial where we hired cartoons to do the artwork on the cars, a truth
Nice.
commercial. And we brought Esteban on board, and Esteban they brought Psycho Ram. We put Psycho Ram's music in. It was a
Oh
long
shit.
time ago, and I was like, so we were like probably all like that was like the first time we all like collabed on that thing together. It was
Yeah.
like cool, what I'm saying. And I'm like new to this, and Cartoon and Esteban, they're OGs. They're OGs back
Yeah.
then in the game,
Damn.
so they already were like they saw
They had connections already.
well, it's why it was crazy because I got them the job at that point. But they
Mm,
were giving what I'm saying is they were giving me, they were nurturing me. They seen something in me
got it.
because I was doing it.
Yeah.
So when people say like, "Hey, well, people people don't give me the time of day," I'm like, you got everybody's saying they're gonna be an actor. Everybody's saying like, keep putting in the work.
Yeah.
If
Your
someone's not
time will
giving you,
come.
yeah, if someone's not giving
Yeah.
you the attention or they don't follow you back or don't take that personal. Like everybody says they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
The ones that are doing it, they're going to class into that. That's when I start. Oh, okay, he's doing it. I'm gonna follow him back, and I'm not trying to just follow. I can't just follow everybody that says I'm an actor and all
Yeah.
that.
No, you can't do that.
So I saw that they seen that I was doing the work, and then they seen, oh, like man, he's doing the work, and then also I got him a gig. So like, all right, this
Why
youngsters,
not?
I'm like late 20s,
Oh shit.
at that point. I'm 50. I'm gonna be 51. So we're like really young and raw. And then
Mm-hmm.
so that director became my mentor, Baker Smith, and he even
Wow.
donated on our when we did the
Really?
post production for
Oh
the
shit.
suspect thing. And then there's so many mentors. And then my other Anton Fisher, the real Anton Fisher,
Mm-hmm.
he's a great friend and just always. And these guys, like to this day, it's like 20 years, they still text me back in
That's
a
awesome.
very reasonable time,
That's
and I would say
awesome.
it's in the same day. And then Eddie Gonzalez has been a new peer mentor. He co-created On My Block.
Oh shit.
And
I
my
love that show.
yeah, and shout out Cuete Yesca. He connected us. He's like actor rapper. He goes Cuete Yesca. I go, hey, you know this guy? He goes, yeah. I go, you think you can do an introduction? Hell yeah, like whatever you need, bro.
That's
And he
sick.
just did the connection. He goes, yeah, he knows who you are.
Good.
Talk to him, and he's like, so I talked to Eddie. And he goes, hey man, because I just want advice. And he goes, I'm trying to break in the TV game. I got the script. He goes, I can't read scripts and da da
Yeah.
da. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, what do you think? And we start talking. 20 minutes in, he goes, man, you're effing cool, man. Send me your script.
There you
And
go.
we became friends. And then he gave me notes and he helped me get better. He's seen things because he's a seasoned TV guy.
Yeah.
He helped me see things that I wasn't seeing. So all these different people. But the thing is that when you're doing the work and you're putting it in, like people will start like they'll put the red carpet out for
Yeah.
you, like they want to be of service to you,
For sure.
you know what I mean? But don't
Because they
ask,
see the hunger and stuff.
yeah,
in
and,
you.
they're not like they're not asking for a handout, you know what I mean? Like, go give me a job. Like, no, doing the work, just
Yeah.
give me advice. And another friend of mine, mentor Michael Garcia, he was an executive at HBO, at Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire,
Oh wow.
big time. And then he transitioned on his own. We were developing a project together for 2 years. The project fell apart, but what I learned with him from 2 years was priceless.
Yeah.
Now he's at George Lucas company working all the Star Wars stuff,
Oh
and he still
shit.
texts me back.
That
Like that's you know what I mean? Because
that's
some
rare to say though in
no,
Hollywood.
it really is. Like he still texts me back in the same. So when I'm working with anybody and they're like, "Oh, I was busy," and they take 3 days to text, I go, "Man, I know millionaires that are doing big, giant, running big companies.
Yeah.
They still
That
text me
still text
back.
you back.
So it's a respect thing,
Yeah.
and it's like you either treat me like that or you treat everybody like that.
That's awesome.
Like so,
No,
like
you're right.
so
100%.
like, and we're all. I drop the ball on time. Someone gives me a little nudge. Hey, did you get my? I'm not flawless at it, but I got way better at it. And then I know like how every guy what I picked up on, like the people that my mentors,
Mhm.
they're they're killing it at the highest level and their thing and they text back fast, email back. I'm like, shoot, that's you know what I'm saying?
No, that's
That's why they're
love.
successful
Yeah.
because they're on top of it. They're
Everything.
balancing family and da da da.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, yeah, I need to get back to people fast and da da.
Hmm.
I mean, when people DM me, they just put yo. Like I'm not gonna answer that. I don't
That
got
could mean a
time.
lot of things. Like, what do you
Yeah,
want? Yeah.
but if they ask me, I get back to everybody. If they ask me,
Yeah.
oh, how to be an actor, how to be a writer, I'll But there's some people from the old days that just like, what's up, fool? They just hang out. Like I'm like, it's been 20 years. Like, what are we gonna
Now,
hang
what are
out
we
about?
gonna post
I'm
up and drink a beer for what?
yeah, I'm
I got
just
shit to do.
yeah, I'm deep in the ocean over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I love your entire story because it's just so inspiring. Like we all have people we look up to, and the fact that like they show you love back, like it's dope. Like when you responded to my DM, I was like, oh shit, like that's dope as fuck, and like it's very inspiring, and I'm sure you inspire other people. And you mentioned that you do youth counseling.
Oh yeah.
Why did you start doing that? What made you want to start? What schools are you at? Camps?
I
Talk about that.
that was just the instincts, I when I closed suspect the management part back then, I
Okay.
realized like, hey, you know what? All of us need we all need therapy and healing and we were all
Hmm. Especially if you're gonna be playing roles that you've already
yeah.
lived in, and
Yeah, it
you're gonna
was
play it again on
I
TV.
mean, money management, dealing with child support,
Oh,
like there's
everything.
just so much, you make a lot of money and you didn't deal with the IRS and child support and half your money's gone, then you're like,
Oh
and
shit.
you don't have discipline and healing, and you're, oh, I'm gonna go
Or
get high,
money. Yeah.
and the last little bit of check or your check's so big and you go party it up.
Yeah.
So all these different things, and for me it was like I just had a soft spot in my heart. Like I watched the Tyler Perry documentary, over the weekend. It was so
Yeah.
inspiring, and he had his audience, and I'm like, I love to help everybody on this planet, but my heart goes out to the Chicano culture, for the gang culture. Like, man,
He said that,
no,
or
I'm
I'm
saying
like,
that.
I'm
I'm
like,
saying that. So he had his audience,
oh, I see. I
right?
see. He does.
He
Yeah.
had his own audience, and he talked about this audience that wasn't being served in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But it just reminded me, like, yeah, I
Right.
love my heart goes to Chicano people. That's just
Raza.
I love everybody, but that's it. Like, they're my
That's what we do it
people.
for.
I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be broken. You know what I mean? And so that's like what it was, like helping people. And then as I got into like speaking, I would speak at schools. All of us, we would speak at schools, juvenile halls, and all that. And then I make friends with different nonprofits, and then they're like, "Hey, would you ever want to come work at a school thing?" And then when I closed Suspect, the management, I was like, "Yeah, I'll try that." And then I went and worked at Lennox Middle School,
Okay.
seventh and eighth graders, and then they partnered up with Tribeca Teachers, Robert De Niro's company. So next thing you know, I'm like,
Nice.
they're buying us Macs and all this stuff, and we have all these students, and then I have a key to all the dorms and the restrooms
Yeah.
or the bungalows, and then that teacher's like, "How'd you get all this? You didn't even have a degree." And I was like, "Oh, I have a good reputation with
Yeah, I'm the man.
well, because Tribeca was like, well, you have a criminal record and da da da,
No way.
and they didn't want to hire me at first, but my guy at the nonprofit says, yeah, he'll talk openly about that. But what's good is like I had no sex crimes, right? So that was like,
Yeah.
like no, you don't have no no like weird
Yeah, because
stuff,
you're gonna be
right?
working with kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like all the stuff was like gangbanger stuff over 20
Yeah.
years ago,
Hmm.
and G rides and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll talk open about it. Like this is what it is, and then my guy co-signed, so they hired me.
Oh
Next thing you
shit.
know, we're taking kids to New York, and Robert De Niro's there, and all these.
That's awesome.
I think I was more excited than them
Oh, for
because all
sure.
they knew was meet the parents, and I'm like, I know, Bronx Tale and Godfather, all
Bronx
these.
tell. Yeah.
But and then you got parents trusting us with their child
Yeah.
to go to New York. That's
That's
huge.
huge.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially for those that have never caught a flight, that haven't
Yeah.
even been outside of the state of California, the city.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's so
that's
big, and then
awesome.
and then the parents would come meet me, and I remember this dad was like, some of them were like, what is my kid doing? They were not sure. It's a film, it's
Yeah.
film school. And they went on to graduate. I'm still friends with them. They went on to graduate college now. This was years ago. And I remember one dad that was very like, kind of mean, old school Mexican dad. This, this is a big guy. And he just saw the change in his daughter. And I remember one time we go, and so when it would come to the female girls, I would have my wife with me or my son. And
Makes
I'm never
sense.
gonna be alone with a young
Yeah.
female student. So we would give them rides home or whatever. And then the dad, I remember one time that this dad was very like, you know, just
Veterano.
he just wasn't like he didn't really know what it was, but he just saw the
Mm.
change in his daughter, the confidence, right? And I
Hmm.
remember we took her home one day, and he just came and he gave me this big old bear hug.
No
And he's like,
way.
thank you so much. And I was like,
Oh.
man, that like I teared up. I'm like,
Yeah.
because I know like you people helped me, that's cool, but when you help my son,
Yeah, and I
like
think that's beautiful because like you could get whatever award in this
yeah,
world, but that's something money can't buy. You know, moments like
100%,
that.
100%.
Like I've done a lot, like teaching. Like I'm a dance teacher sometimes, or like I've just done a lot in my community. So when people show me love, it's like it's beautiful. You know,
It's an
it's different.
undescribable feeling.
Yes, it is, and it's
Yeah.
something money can't buy.
Yeah, you definitely not.
Yeah.
So that's when I learned how to do both now,
Okay.
incorporate both,
Yeah,
and follow ups,
that's important.
follow up with the youngsters. Hey man, like how you feeling? Comedian Jerry Garcia was gonna be in the Suspect pilot. So we became friends and
Hmm.
on Instagram, and then I was like, oh, this guy. We talked on the phone, like, oh, this guy. I love his comment. I go, hey man, I'm doing this thing. You down to do it? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And he goes, bro, I was just gonna call you. That's funny you called me. He goes, I met this guy in Huntington Park, this youngster that I'm mentoring. But like this, is like what I do. I know that's the thing you do. Like I want to connect you guys
Yeah,
because he's like he only could do so much, but I had all these tools and trainings and
yeah.
experience already. So I'm like, send him my way.
Why not?
I go over there. We meet at Salt Lake Park. His name's Brandon, and I'm like, man, I'm talking to the young me, giving him what I wanted when I used to breakdance at this
Yeah.
park. It was very
Oh,
surreal. It
really?
was like
Full circle
30
moment.
years
Oh
later, and I
shit.
was like, bro, I used to breakdance at this park, and I used to be hurting, about this and that.
Yeah.
And I go, and so I'm giving him everything. And we've been friends for 2 years. And I'm just mentioning, what are you
That's
doing? Let's go eat. Let's
awesome.
go, check in. And he texts me back, and I got him writing. Or he's doing it. I mean, I just say, hey, write. He likes poetry, keep writing.
That's
And
good.
now he's going to be, he stayed so connected with me. We're so tapped in. He's potentially might play the lead in my next project.
Oh,
And
nice.
so right now, I have one. I go, look, you're not for sure got the part, but like, come read at the table reading. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in it somewhere, but and I'm like,
And is
it's
that gonna be a film or a TV
this is a
series?
film.
Okay,
This
okay.
is a film.
For sure.
It's our Bronx Tale, Boys in the Hood. Finally, yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
So and I'm not saying
Oh
I'll send
yeah.
you the script. We got
Yes.
I'll
Let
find
me
something
know.
for
Let me
you. So
know.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
and
Let's do it.
but this is where the mentoring blended in with the filmmaking
Mm,
because the more work he did on himself, and the more like sometimes I'll just hear him out for an hour at night.
wow.
Like, man, I got to get out of bed and go take the call. My wife already knows what the deal is, and she's just venting to me.
That's good.
You know,
Sometimes homies need that.
yeah,
You
it
know?
could be about his. He's not in the. It could be about his parents, whatever. I mean, I feel like every person, especially a young person, needs a place where they could go say my dad's a hole or my mom's or whatever,
Yeah.
like without getting in trouble. You
Exactly.
just gotta let it out.
Yeah.
I I call it like take my wife don't like the way I emotion letting a release emotion to
Yes.
release.
Of course.
So I always say like, yeah, look, if you go to eat a Tommy's Burger and you don't go to the restaurant for like a week, you're gonna be pretty. So it's that same thing I tell young people, hey, or anybody, but you gotta go out and you gotta like talk crap about whoever, let it out,
Yeah.
and that's like or let it out through writing, through
Expression.
expression.
Yeah.
You can't. The bottom line is you cannot hold that in
Yeah. That's
because you
true.
will just somebody bumps you on the bus or whatever, you're gonna just go off,
Yes.
and
Because you're
that's
holding, you're bottling up your
your
emotions.
bottom line.
Yeah.
Like you said, like that pressure,
Yeah.
right? That
Pressure buzz pipes.
pressure
Yep.
bust pipes. So he and I, I just saw so much growth in him, and then when I showed him the pilot, he goes, that's what I went through. That's what I'm going through. My girl's pregnant. And
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
good. That's it. It's not even
Literally
my
you.
story anymore. It's a gift to the people,
Yeah.
right? And now, if you could, if we, if we work out and he plays a part in the movie, but the most important thing is that the experience he transitions into, and he finds healing in the whole process. Whether he gets
Yeah.
the part
A
or
hundred
not, or
percent.
becomes an actor is not even the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting him around like some other OG actors,
That's
that
good.
people from Varios that are
Mm-hmm.
not on the gang tip anymore. They're
Yeah.
about their acting.
Acting.
But if you get a youngster to be around them and they're influenced by them in a good way now,
Mm-hmm.
that's a win-win. And
Win-win.
it goes, and like you said, like you can't put a price on that.
You can't.
You just can't. You know what I'm saying?
It's just that's just more rewarding than anything,
Yeah,
than
like
any
it's
award.
worth taking a
Yeah.
chance on this youngster right here because this could save his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go get an actor that's already been doing this his whole childhood.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's worth taking the chance and really developing
Mm-hmm.
him and doing that. Again, at the end, if he doesn't, he's still going to be transformed, right?
Because you helped them put in that work.
And it's like for me, if this is all I did as far as my art,
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool. Like everybody knows what's my legacy. Helped a lot of people, and I didn't stop.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. I did it my way. It's on YouTube, whatever. I got some other stuff that
Yeah. Yeah.
hit the millions on YouTube, and I didn't know that was a big deal. My son's telling me it's a big deal, back then, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But I'm like, oh yeah, it's reaching people. The comments, they're loving it. I'm like, all right, cool, But so that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about, like really changing lives and mentoring. Yeah, that was the original question,
Yeah.
but yeah, I got the reputation. This one, Jerry Garcia. Hey, and then I have other people. Hey, I'm gonna send a guy your way,
That's
somebody
awesome.
else. So that's what I keep doing, and I don't know. It's just I love it. I love it, and I'm never gonna stop doing that.
Yeah. No, of course, and I love that because, like I said, it's inspiring, and these kids already have a lot going on. These kids already have the odds, all the odds against them, and the fact that they want to even pursue something and you're giving them a chance, that's beautiful. Because me being like the industry, like it was hard. Like I got a lot of no's and you get a lot of no's.
Yeah.
So what has been like, I guess, the hardest part about being in this industry for you?
The hardest part, well, learning how to control my anger.
Mm.
You know, and you just got to practice grace and mercy every day, every day, every day. So when something happens to you, just like I gotta forgive this person because
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that did me wrong through the industry. I had already forgiven people in the neighborhood stuff, people
Yeah.
that killed my
That's
homies
a
or
whole
whatever.
other.
So I was like, if
Yeah.
I could do that, I could do that over here, right? So people did me wrong. A lot of the times it was financially, they burned me or whatever. I was a
Really?
manager. Yeah, like thousands, and Hollywood folks too, like thousands of dollars. It's like, okay, what are your options? You could go tie him up, rob him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably go to, risk going to jail.
Risk it
And
all
then you did like
again
all these years of doing good. And then it's like,
just to let it go.
so basically, like, no amount of money is worth going to jail. No amount of
Facts.
disrespect is worth, none of it's worth going to jail. Nothing is worth going to jail
Yeah.
at all. So that's why I just kept telling myself, nothing, so it's like, I'm just got to keep it moving. So that's hard. It's still hard, but it's not as hard anymore.
Yeah.
So something that would have taken me maybe holding a grudge for 5 years, and I was like, I give it like I try to give it 24 hours. I'm trying to get to a place where it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It bothers me for
Me
5
too,
minutes.
Manny.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, this guy's a
Yeah.
jerk, or this girl did this, whatever.
Or it's not even worth it
Yeah,
at this point.
just like
Move on.
I do this thing now that's been helping. Maybe it'll help you, or maybe
Let
it'll
me
help the
know. Let me
people.
know.
I put people on timeouts.
You're blocked for a whole day.
I like, this person life needs to humble them still.
Yes, a lot of people need
And
some
life
humble
will humble
juice.
life will humble everybody. 'Cause I don't care. When you
Yes.
lose your mom and dad and siblings or husband or wife for whatever reason, like we're all gonna die. Like when you start dealing with that, you start realizing like this whole thing, your career or your craft or whatever, it's not that important. This is important.
Yeah.
So, that took me a while to get to that place. But like I'll never go confront somebody, hey, you owe me money. Like, you don't want to pay me, it's all right. If you ever want to work with me again,
Just know.
they gotta pay me
Yeah.
what they owe me, and then they gotta whatever they want to hire me for, that needs to be all paid up front.
Period.
That's how I roll.
Good.
Because you can't be trusted now.
And because you've already
you know?
went through so much
Yeah.
to just cut yourself short
Yeah.
for someone that's not even worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. No matter who it
Yeah,
is, I don't
right.
care if they're a celebrity or what. If you don't respect me as a man, as a human,
Yeah,
and like, then that's fine. I'm not, and we don't need to work together. We're good. I'll see you. It doesn't mean I could still even be a fan of certain people. Like, it's cool. I still love their art, but certain people, they just, that's how it is. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to get that. But again, those needed to happen to remind me not to do that. You could learn a lot from what not to do
yeah.
to people.
That's what they say. You know, you learn from your mistakes and
Yeah. Well,
apply the
if you learn
lesson.
from other people's mistakes, even
That's
better.
true. Yeah.
That's even the best. But
Yeah.
yeah, so so I'm really trying to my best to treat everybody right and uh, you know, honor any deal we're making. Just
Yeah. And it's taking you
yeah.
so far. And like, how do you feel when you see like people like, Carlos and Caesar and Noel like doing their thing and like just seeing
So
how you guys started and seeing them now?
I'm so proud of these guys. Like, just not even as actors, as human beings. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I told you, Noel and I had a 10-year fallout.
Really?
10 years.
What was
Just
that?
it was just
Why?
on my part, I was so. I'll say it, and we both know that we're allowed. Like, we're not talking about each other. Like,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, I'll say my part was, he was doing good as an actor and all that, but he was like, hey, I think this is getting in a friendship. I should leave Suspect. But see, my back then, don't get
Mm,
remember, this is, like 15 years ago. Like, my mindset back then was gangster,
yeah.
gangster, gangster, gangster. So I'm like, oh, if you're like, it's like you left the hood,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
That's how I,
Yeah.
you
That's
know.
how you took it.
But I admitted to him, and I'll admit it here. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was totally wrong, because there was other people that, and we stayed friends. But so I was like, oh, F that dude, da, da,
Yeah.
da, he
Who
left,
reached out
you
first?
know. It just mutually,
Mutual.
yeah, mutual. So, but time went on. We just both healed, you know what I mean? And we both said this and that behind each other's back. And there's people like we're
Yeah.
freaking playing double agent and doing all these
Oh, of
games.
course.
But what happened was, I think we just like I seen on his. Oh, I got on Instagram like 4 years ago, and I could see like you could just kind of tell and hear from our mutual friends like
Like it's a small
that I
industry.
changed, he
Yeah.
changed. But one of the things was like watching Straight Outta Compton, and then excuse me,
No, you're good. You're good.
watching Straight Outta Compton and seeing like Eazy-E's story come up again,
Yeah.
and seeing how Dre and Ice Cube felt, and like, man, they didn't get a chance to really do anything with him, make amends.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want that to happen. I don't hate dude like
God
that.
forbid,
You know what
but
I mean?
yeah.
So I was like, man, it ain't that serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just like God starts softening my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I like cats now and all these things. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so we like ran into each other, or we were like, hope you're good, G. And then it was like, and I would still like, hey, I saw you on this movie. I'm proud of you.
Congrats. You know.
So just throughout the years, we were like, we were still like friendly, but we just were like, stay
Kept
over
it.
there. I'll stay
Yeah.
over here.
Neutral. Uh huh.
And then it like we seen each other, and we're like, it was just like you could just tell it was over. It was
That's
just like, love you,
good.
brother. I love you.
Oh,
And that was
I
it. It
love
was like,
that.
and then we went and talked for 8 hours at his pad, and
Damn.
he's like, yeah, he's like, you got anything you want to get off your chest? I was like, bro,
We're past it.
yeah, and we
It's
just,
been 10 years.
we just,
Decade. Wow.
yeah, and I was like, man, and I was really like beating myself up over that, and we just both, I'm like, so but that needed to happen though,
Mm-hmm.
because like we're so close now. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
were the first two that met and we're getting this whole thing going.
Mm-hmm.
So we're so close now. And I don't see him as Noel G the actor. I don't see Little Rob as Little Rob the rapper.
Right.
Like I know Robert Flores. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like I love him as a human.
As
I
a
love
person.
Noel. You know what I mean? Louis Magada, Cardos, all these guys. Like I love them I'm so proud of them. The humans, the dads they become. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like
man they
the men,
became.
just like the acting is all that is frosting,
Yeah.
but just seeing them being a productive citizen and the way they conduct themselves on Instagram and with fans, like
Yeah.
I'm around these guys and people are just, and I never seen these guys like treat a fan or treat anybody messed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Noel is, I've been on when set with Noel, like he treats everybody cool. I never seen him mistreat anybody. You know what I mean? We were at Citadel one time not too long
Oh
ago, and that
yeah.
guy just people just coming
Oh, coming up to him.
interrupting our business
Oh
meeting.
wow,
He was like,
our business
you know,
meeting.
and he's like,
I'm
and he
dead.
was not once, and that, and they won't even like when the person leaves, they don't even like vent to me like, oh man, they're getting on my nerves. None of that. They just do it with love.
Really,
Like they're so grateful, these guys. So
yeah,
that's what I'm proud of them
love
more.
that.
The way the love they show, and
Carry
they like
themselves.
they man, they truly know how, man, they're truly grateful for everything that happened, and they live in gratitude. So that's why we're all still connected.
That's
You know
awesome.
what I mean? And then there's the other people that are like on their little cocky thing.
That's on
I
them.
still wish them well.
That's on them.
I
That's on
still wish
them.
them well,
You're onto your
but
own thing.
you know,
But one thing, the last thing I wanted to ask you, is what's next for Suspect Entertainment, and where can people watch Suspect the series?
right now we're still hitting the film festivals,
Okay.
and we're gonna be having more private screenings for the Suspect series. So it's, you know, it's the pilot. I got
Yeah.
it got to some
What
good.
is the pilot? For those that don't know, what is a pilot?
A pilot is the first episode, right? And so like if you're doing it with the network, you know, you they give you millions of dollars to go
Yes.
shoot a pilot, and then hopefully it gets picked up and all
They
that.
buy the script and
So
everything. Yeah.
yeah, we didn't have millions of dollars. You know, we had like twenty
Yeah.
thousand,
But it
and
came
like
out so
10, yeah, and
good.
it's so but we with enough resources and enough, you know, guerrilla filmmaking and all that. Like I said, we know how to do this. Now let's just do it for ourselves. So I feel very proud of it. So it's getting to the right people, but it is
Good.
going to take millions to make.
It
And you know,
is.
it's you got to. I had to prove myself as a director. I could direct this and write this.
No, I
So
loved
now
it.
they see it and they say, "Oh yeah, this guy's." Even some of my peers, even like Noel Singh, is
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Oh shoot, man, you are a director."
No,
Like, you
yeah, it
know,
was really
like,
well directed,
yeah.
executed. I felt it.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
I'll probably, at the very least, will release it in a 5-part web series, probably in January.
Okay.
But it's getting to some good people, and then the strike kind of
Messed everything up,
slowed
but it's over
everything up.
now.
But
So
it's over
hopefully
now.
2024,
You know, if someone,
some good
whoever wants to
happens.
do the deal with me, it's I got to be authentic. You know what I mean? It's like I'm the
Yeah.
director, I'm the writer. I'll take notes, but I'm not gonna. Like I said, I'm doing the Stallone did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna hold out till if it's done right, and create. Like I want a lot of. I want to collaborate, but I want some creative control in some degree or another.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing with that. But I'm also shifting to my feature film, and we're gonna do a real gritty, same way we shot that. It's
Yeah.
real gritty
Okay.
guerrilla filmmaking. I'm like, okay, let's that takes millions to do a whole series. Well, we don't need millions to do an independent feature.
Nope.
You know, we need maybe a few 100,000. You know what I mean? That's the big difference.
Yeah.
So I have
That
enough
is true.
resources now. Like we're doing a table reading on December 2nd,
For this new project
for
that
the
you're
new
working on?
project,
Okay.
and yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. And it was, and the pilot, again, the pilot did its job because they know that they're like, shit. People are like, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's
Because
so
like, hey, I want to be.
good.
So now, like, you know, people are they're excited, and like, and I don't take it no kind of way if they weren't excited to work with me before. Like I told you, fool.
I told you.
I
My
got the
time is
instincts. My
coming.
mama
Yep.
told me.
Got the since
My
day
mama showed me
one.
the instincts,
Since day one.
and so that's what I'm going by. And so yeah,
That's
people are
good.
like, we're doing it on December 2nd at Quixote Studios. Shout out Quixote
Okay.
Studios and Chicano Hollywood. All the work that
Yes.
we're doing there, and Ortega Brothers. It's just so many people that that's a big movement right there. Those guys,
Chicano Hollywood.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
tap
doing
in
it.
with them. They
They're
are
doing it.
like, they reached out to me a few years ago, and like, you know, like, hey, let's have coffee. And I was like, well, I'm doing this, and I was like, a lot of people said that throughout the years, so it's kind
Yeah.
of like, but like, soon as I went and had the meeting with Johnny Murillo, like I mean, in second, you get know in 5 seconds now when I meet people. If I say, you could tell, like
Yeah.
I nurtured my instincts.
Energy doesn't lie.
Yeah, it doesn't like, so I met him, and I'm like, oh yeah, this feels right. And he
good.
said he's gonna do this and that, and I was like, oh, and then he texts me back all the time,
That's
and that's,
good.
I'm like, oh, that's a big thing for me. Like
Because I have all these big timers hitting me back up.
and
So
when people don't text me back, and like, you're telling me you want to work together, how do you work if you don't
I'm gonna
communicate?
communicate.
It's like your marriage. Your marriage, you got to
Yes.
communicate.
Facts.
So if you can't even do that, that's the first thing.
Don't even bother. Yeah.
You know,
No,
so
literally.
so Johnny, he's like, and he's doing everything he said he's gonna do. And he was a pastor before, and he said, God called me to do
Oh,
this.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
know
right
that.
on, yeah. And I go like, dude, And I go, dude, you're like the backup I've been needing. We're trying to do this too. So we
Yeah,
all like we're really lined up with the mission.
that's
This is a
good.
mission, so that's and the script's the mission. The next one, all these projects are about redemption, about helping people,
Yeah,
uplifting the community. Like, say, look, at the end of the day, this whole thing, every single project, everything I'm involved in, and with Chicano, we want to save lives,
at the
right?
end of the
So
day.
that's it. That's it. So how can we create this safe haven, right? So like a lot of guys, you go to we gangbang and all that, and then you go to prison, and then you gotta get along with your enemies.
Yep.
Like it doesn't make any sense. That
Yeah.
was one of the big red flags. Like doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
think about that. You have to. There's no way around. In the
No
county
way.
jail,
Yeah.
like I went to county jail gangbanging with somebody from juvenile hall. And then I had OG
Damn.
sit me down, say, "Hey, this ain't juvenile hall, and then we'll cut it out."
Yeah.
I was gonna
Can't
get
get
beat
away
up,
with that
right?
shit. Yeah.
So
You're
I'm
gonna
like,
get
well,
regulated.
so like
Yeah.
that's what a lot of youngsters don't know. So I'm like, well, why not do that out here? Be cordial. You don't got to be best buddies and hang out,
Yeah.
but be cordial. And let's
Just do
create
your
art.
lines, get money. That's it.
Yeah, and then
Show up. That's
sometimes
it.
and then you start realizing, man, this dude's cool.
Yeah.
Or this girl's cool. Like even though they're from the other
From
side of
that
town,
side. Yep.
they're cool. They have the same problems I have.
Yep. Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
We're all going through
So
it.
how could we just keep saving lives and unite each other and keep creating a safe haven?
Yeah.
Like, come on with me. You want to roll with me?
Yeah.
They see 20 something years of just working with all kind of different homies from different
Wow.
from San Diego to the Valley to the
25 years.
IE,
Hey.
East LA, West LA. I don't care where you're
What's
from. Let's
up?
roll. Let's roll. Let's just like
Yeah.
let's make art. Let's save lives, and that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, that's dope. Well, congratulations, Manny,
Thank you.
on everything that you're doing. Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for the sweater. Where could people get their Suspect Entertainment
Our
merch?
Shopify will be up pretty soon.
Okay,
pretty
okay.
soon. Right now, we're doing when we do the screenings, we do a merch table.
Okay.
Chicano
Yes.
Hollywood's having a Christmas event. Go on
Okay.
their website. We'll have a booth there.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna. This one's gonna be even better because we're putting up a lot of old school memorabilia up in the booth.
Oh, nice.
So it's gonna be a lot of cool stuff there. People are gonna see like the journey from the old Suspect because I'm in this whole rebranding thing now, like
Yeah.
as a filmmaker.
Right.
So there's some people that don't even know about the old days, and then the old days they still think like, oh, you're still a manager. I'm like, no, I'm a
No, I'm on a different route.
yeah,
Like,
but
been there,
like,
done that.
But
This is me now.
so
Mhm.
so yeah, so we're doing that. And then again, if we when we put it on YouTube or whatever, so the Shopify will be up soon. But right now,
Okay, for sure.
we're just like little by little,
Little by little. No, I love
you
the
know,
shirt. I love everything you've done for our
yeah.
people, for Chicanos, homegirls, homies. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited to see where your directing and your writing and your production will end up in the near future. Hopefully, we can work together
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just thank you for coming. And before we end, I do this segment called Let's Be Real.
Okay.
So I'll ask you a question and you're just going to answer as honestly as you can. Okay? You ready?
Got it.
Okay. First question. Let's be real. Do you think we are in a Chicano renaissance?
Absolutely.
Why?
I mean, look at it. Look what's happening. It's like, it's almost kind of good that it didn't happen all these years because look how it's happening. It's happening so
Yeah,
big. It's
big.
like we struck oil right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's blowing
Yeah.
up. But as long as we stay professional and work on the craft, work on our healing, like shout out Fu News, right? Flyboy.
Flyboy, I need
Like,
to bring him on the
Yeah,
podcast.
he's cool. Like
He's
at first I
so
was
dope.
like, he reached out to me. I was a little like,
Yeah.
bro, you gotta give him some homework. But then like his energy, he's just so he has this likability is a big thing.
Yes.
So
He's very likable.
so he's yeah. So no, so absolutely. I mean, you just see all these different people,
Yeah.
but let the ego go. Everybody got
Yes.
like now we go from gang banging to podcast banging. You know what I mean?
What's
Like,
up with that,
we
Manny?
Come on, guys.
Come on, y'all.
Respect.
That's
we don't
right.
gotta, We don't gotta like each other. We don't gotta love
Yes.
each other. We gotta respect each other.
But like people just love to name drop and clickbait and it's just a whole mess. All right, last
And they're
one.
gonna take that from here and run with it.
All right, let's be real. When did you start to have success in the industry? Well, or what is your most successful moment in the industry?
Honestly, like just making it out of the neighborhood stuff.
Really?
That's success. Anybody Emilio Rivera, all of us, we talk about that all the time. The fact that we made it out, I'm gonna be 51. I never thought I would
Yeah.
be 21. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so
Honestly.
just that to me, for any homie, that for me, that's a success. Anything after that is frost icing on the cake, frosty.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I see is my transformation is a success. All that other stuff really it's cool, but it doesn't really
It's not what
matter.
you're doing it for.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And people that know me, it's really that's not like, I think it's been cool that I have slow success. I think that's the best way because it's like you get knocked down, boom, move.
Yeah.
You
You
keep
don't have
going.
too much
Yeah, if you, people that
pressure,
get too
but
successful fast, for that ego is like, whew,
yeah. And
and
then
then
they
then it
the same
crushes.
as
It's-
fast as they came up, they come down. I've
Exactly.
heard that in this
So
industry.
so I like the way it's going. But that's what I would define success: making it out and touching lives.
Nice.
That's
Okay, one more. Let's be real. Um, what advice would you give any aspiring Chicano filmmaker, writer right now?
work on yourself, your healing, and work on your craft like your life depends on it, because it does.
And that's that.
That's that.
That's that.
Like you got to work hard,
Yeah.
7 days a week,
It's about
hard.
the work.
And if you don't love it, and it seems, I don't even label this thing as work. It's called work, but I love it.
Yeah.
We're here on a Sunday. I
On
love
a
this.
Sunday, like
I love
I've been
this.
wanting to do this.
Proud of you, like
Thank
what you're doing,
you.
everything you're doing,
Thank you.
your team. Like
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is not work, right?
Yeah.
This is cool, man. This is like we're on. This is a gift.
It is.
You know what I mean? So like, if you're looking at like writing so hard, acting like though, that ain't for you. Find something
Facts.
that lights you up and work hard at it. But you should love it. You will not. When I'm working, I don't feel like I'm working. When I'm doing the film, like
Yeah.
we're like 2 hours of sleep, coffeeed up on my Death Wish coffee.
Your death or not
Shout
the
out Death
death
Wish. Send me
wish.
some free coffee.
I'm dead.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love doing this.
Yeah.
I love it with all my heart. Like,
Same.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be like Scorsese, all old.
Yes, you
directing.
are. You
know what
will,
I'm saying?
man.
Like,
You
I
will.
love it. So if
You
you
will.
love it, keep working on it. Like and be nice. Be nice to yourself. Forgive yourself, and forgive others, and be nice. And that's my advice.
I love that. Thank you so much, Manny. Let's Be Real podcast. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
Tell
you.
everybody where they can find you. What's your Instagram,
At
everything?
Manny Jimenez Senior SR, and YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I don't dance on TikTok though, so just,
Me either.
but I do answer DMs. But ask a question.
Yes.
Ask a question as a professional. What is it you're trying to do? I will answer you. That's my word. I answer all my DMs. I might not answer them right away, but I'll go through Sunday and answer all the DMs.
Yeah.
But like be real. Ask
Be
me
real.
what you want, and I'm gonna answer it. And I'm not gonna be that guy that just says scene. But I can't hold a conversation though.
No,
All
you
day
can't.
long.
Like,
Da, da, da.
you gotta meet me halfway.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
ask me. Let's get to work.
That's what's up. Well, thank you so much, Manny. That's a wrap. Let's Be
Thank
Real
you.
podcast. Make sure you guys follow the Instagram page at Let's Be Real Pod. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow the Wrecking Spot as well on Instagram, and subscribe down below. And on to the next one. Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
Bye.